Oh gosh. Whew. God darn it. Hey, how's it going? Give me a second here. I'm still trying to get everything situated. No, I ain't talking to you guys. I ain't talking to you puppy hairs. I'm not talking to you. Dog's coming here from the room. Whoa, stop it, girl. Come on. Oh, gosh. What is that? Is that a tick? No, it's a burr. Okay, guys. Come here. Come here. There you go. Yeah. There's little big girl. This is the one. So I'd lit them out this morning, and then hold on a minute. Oh, hold on a minute. I'd lit them out this morning, and yeah. So it was still dark. You know, they usually go out around 5 o'clock, and then sometime a little later, after I decided to get up, you know, and it was daylight, I got up, opened the door. They came around from this side over here in front of the trailer, around the other trailer. And this one right here, she had something in her mouth. And I could tell it looked like an animal. I didn't know if it was a dead animal like that she had found. And I was going to have to deal with Stinky. But evidently they had chased down a rabbit. And this girl here was eating on it. And that one was trying to fight with her. Not fight, but trying to get it from her. She wasn't going to let it go. And she was eating on it. By the time my neighbor was leaving and I was on the porch in bare feet, we talked for a minute, and then I put my shoes on and I walked over there to see for sure what she was chewing on or had in her mouth. And by the time I got over there, all that was left was the head. Like she was down, she had done ate and demolished the entire rabbit's body and was at the head. And I was like, golly. I used to have a cat that would kill squirrels and eat them like that. Like it would corner a squirrel, and I would get the squirrel and bring it into my. I'd get the squirrel and bring it into my apartment. Have my cat follow me because it would almost. One time it had a squirrel that was already dead, and I just brought it into the apartment and let the cat eat it. I just wanted to see what he'd do, and I filmed it. That was on an old YouTube channel of mine, if I remember correctly. I believe I have that. I'll have to go look. I can't get back into that channel, but it still exists, I think. A Day in the Life of Gray Cloud is what it would be. And then you can also find Gray Cloud, the Gift Give and Scribe channel. And on that, there's some videos there of me giving skateboards away, doing unboxing, and hold on, guys. Gosh darn it. Sorry about that. I can't determine if see, I tried to schedule this and then I came back on, or I kind of messed it up. I had it scheduled let's have a good day. Had it scheduled for 9:30, and then I realized somebody was just trying to call, but it wasn't. Anyway, I'm sorry if I'm boring you guys. I'm not trying to. And I don't know if anybody will show up or not. We do have the possibility that someone might come in for a minute. I don't know. I don't have a specific topic to deep dive on, but you know how I am. Once we get going, we might be talking about all kinds of things. And once again, I never know how long I'll be on here, but I figured the way it's been rolling here lately is I come on and I say that, and then I end up being on for like an hour and a half, 2 hours, So now that wasn't necessary yesterday, but yesterday morning I was on here for about an hour, I think. I think we were on here for about an hour. And let's see here. And if anybody saw me yesterday, if you saw my stream yesterday afternoon, towards the end, of course, I was sharing a photo of Sarah Boylan, the reason that I used the word ditto, and I explained all that. By the way, good morning to everybody. I don't know. Feel free to chime in if you want to chat. You're welcome to say, bring up a subject or whatever. I'm just getting going. I'm also here in the morning because, like I realized yesterday when I went live, I don't do a lot of lives in the morning. It's a lot of times it's usually closer to lunchtime or after lunch that I decide that I'll do a live, because a lot of times I try to get certain things like done. So I'm trying to figure out here if, hold on a second. And I'm just messing around. I'm enjoying being able to do this. It's kind of cool. Like I can put up pictures, stuff like that. So yesterday, what was going on? Really good stream. I felt like I had went out and was blessed yesterday. With a few dollars, I was able to get a couple pre-rolls, and I'm about to spark one of those up. That's why. But let's have a blessed day. I'm not trying to promote the use of anything other than that. I just do what I do. And I've already done my Jesus Calling video. I believe it's completed uploading. So that is up. And then see what else. Let's do another image. I was just trying to share with you guys that I think this photo's from yesterday. Yeah, I took that yesterday. I don't think I've uploaded, or I don't think I've posted that photo anywhere yet. Is my chat working? That's the question I'm having. I see that it looks like there might be 7 people watching. Are you trying to chat? If someone's watching and you have the ability, see if you can type a message in there for me. I'd appreciate it. It should be able to do that. I don't know. I'm actually, I tried something because I'm new to this, so I tried something. Hey, Dennis. Hey, cool. It's just cool to see you. Cool. Thanks for being here for a minute. I know my channel, like Ray Cloudy Day. I'm not like, I don't get a whole lot into doing comics on this channel, but I used to share a few things about comics and stuff. I do have a second channel where that's where I'm going to be concentrating on it, and it's like at 70 something subscribers. But anybody that's into comics and has a comic book creator, yeah, I can read you, brother. Can you? Yeah, Dennis Rodriguez, you're here, right? Say, look, there you go. Yes, I see you loud. I see you loud and clear. Hey, that's a picture from you. What I was saying is, I've realized I've kind of created this weird conundrum, is that I had gotten out of collecting toys last year, but I've heavily gotten back into, I don't have a lot of comic books, but I do have some. And I'm going to make my image bigger again. I'll pull up some other images here in a minute. And let's see. Okay. Yeah. So what I'm going to say is, Oh, and also, you know, I did share a link on X. If somebody, we'll just sit here and see for a minute. I have no clue what I'm doing really, other than that it's morning time here. Dennis, you're in Germany, aren't you? Am I right? Could be wrong. I was thinking that Johnny or somebody mentioned that the other day that she's in Germany. I thought. I think it was Johnny Scab. Are you the one? Aren't you going to come visit him? I think. Anyway, I don't mean to be talking too much about that, but so what I was saying, guys, because you, Dennis, I see that you're there and you're from the comic book community. Uh, all I was getting at is I'm trying to build the second channel to where that will be where I'll do reviews and stuff. And I'm not that good at all that shit, but you know what it is? A review is just somebody's fucking opinion, right? Yeah, you're in Germany. That's what I thought. Which is strange to me because your last name's Rodriguez, but that don't mean anything really. It's like, I guess you got Hispanic descent. Well, that doesn't, just because you're in Germany doesn't mean that you were from there either. You just might live there. Um, uh, but what I was saying, if you saw this, if you came through the link on YouTube, then you probably already know there. You should see a link. Like in other words, if someone sees the link and does pop in, I do have it up on X. Like so, if like I'm not. This ain't a planned stream. There's no particular necessary anything I'm gonna really. But I said I'm gonna smoke and I'm gonna deep dive, and so let's roll. Let's get going. Let's see. You know. Well, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna light it off camera. And I'm using Restream. I was on Johnny's stream the other afternoon. He tested out Restream himself. I'm new to the whole game of using these services, like so where we can have cheers. Anybody that does partake. Yeah, there's a meeting in England. I remember. That's what Johnny. I don't know if we were talking about it on his stream or if it was the day before, and somebody asked him in his chat, and he mentioned it. Okay, he was born in Peru. But I had tested, because like I've been kind of testing. I was testing StreamYard out for the past few weeks to try to get used to navigating it, and then when I want to have guests on, because moving forward in this year, that's what I plan to do. I do everything off of mobile right now, but I'm just having to learn to do the best I can. I really enjoy streaming, and I enjoy, I enjoy getting to know people, especially people with true integrity, like sometimes you can't tell necessarily online, but uh, I have made some good connections with some people that seem like they're legitimate people, like that if we knew each other and met each other in real life, they're the kind of people I feel like, you know, like in other words, I'm the kind of person if I met you in real life and you was down and out and you needed something and I fucking had something, I'm gonna make sure you're all right. Like it might not be money, but like I get down and out. I gotta rely on other people sometimes, but I come from the standpoint that what comes around goes around. If you treat people shitty, you probably get treated shitty. If you walk in the light and you try to be cordial to people, for the most part, most people will be cordial to you. Now that's not always the case, you know. Uh, So I'm testing this out. But I tested Restream like the day before Johnny went on. And so I came on his stream that day and I'm liking it. I only used StreamYard for a little while and I'm liking this one better. It seems to work, give me more options on the phone than the StreamYard did. And I'm actually considering, like, probably not yet, but in the next couple of months, if my streaming starts to pick up, like as far as the audience. Right, being cordial. I mean, that's just the way I was raised, is that if I'm cordial to you and you're cordial back, well, I mean, we ain't always got to be getting along about everything, but I know how to have a decent conversation, even with people that might not always agree with me, you know? Like, there's a difference, but yeah, I try to be pretty respectful to everybody. Now, I have here recently, you know, gotten into doing some trolling, not trolling like, I guess, like some people, but just actively participating, like in that DM group. And then, like, you know, this morning I tagged Ripaverse in that video I did. I was smoking and I was talking about my hair. And I said, man, I can't afford young Clipper. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just can't. I can't afford to fly young Clipper in here to my trailer, man. I can't afford to put him up for a few days just to have him shave my head. Hey, you know, but I'll get some clippers next week and shave my own. I don't have much hair here, but if y'all could hit that like button, I appreciate it. I don't know if I personally can't see it. I don't think because what's this? What does mirror camera mean? I'm trying to figure that. I'm going to experiment with this. There's some options I haven't looked at yet. Hey, why don't I pull up something? Let's see. No, wait. I know what I'll do. Give me a second. I'm going to pull up, let's see, an image here. Let's do something. And that's one of the pictures I got of Frog Tony. Nobody knows, but I secretly, like, Frog Tony's not allowed to divulge this information, but I'm going to share it because I'm his keeper. So, Frog Tony, he stays here like, well, I've got like a hole in the floor with a board over it. Well, I've got a couple of holes in the floor, but I have a particular hole for him. And I keep Frog Tony in the hole and put a piece of plywood over the hole. And then I slide it off. I hope somebody can maybe make some, like, I don't know. Let's see. Right. Yeah, 1 foot in the ground, 1 foot in the precipice. Well, you know, I don't know what the deal is with some people that, like, I don't keep up with why everybody's like fussing and fighting. It's just sometimes I see that there's certain people that are bantering back and forth, and some of them take things a little more personally than the others do. But like I said, yeah, I got Frog Tony's in his hole right now. Like, that's why you don't hear him. You know, we do have it soundproof too, though. Like, once I put that board over that top of that hole, you can't hear him. He could, you know, for all I know, he could. But his live streams are usually in the evenings. Like, what I'm getting at is I don't personally have any beef with Frog Tony. I'm just enjoying that. I don't know. And I don't know if the people that were talking about him the other night really had any beef. You know, who was it? Cynic pulled up a picture of this same guy or a video I don't know if you were there, but Cynic was on a stream, and it was pretty funny. I thought he, now not that he, but there's a whole debate on whether Cynic's funny or not. But Cynic says he never said he was funny. So, but the video was funny, and he was like, "Hey, this is Frog Tony's new channel." I screenshotted that and actually showed it. Let me find another. And what I thought was cool is that I did tag Tony in that. It was funny because last night, I shared. So I shared that. Let's go like this. No, hold on. No, we want to go like this. See, I'm learning. There you go. I don't know if you saw it, but I shared that and said, and it was during, I was actually in Frog Tony's chat last night, and then I was also in another chat. What other chat was I was watching Cynic for a while on somebody's channel that I subbed to last night. Forgive me if I can't remember the channel name, but I was watching Cynic. I was watching a little bit of Frog Tony, just because there was a moment at Frog Tony. I don't remember what he was talking about, but it was funny to me. I was having fun seeing what people were saying in the chat. So I was going back and forth during different. Yeah, I don't make him. I don't. I keep his plate, his water bowl completely clean. Like I always wash it and stuff. I make sure he's taken care of. But I posted that picture, and it was cool because I'd been in Frog Tony's chat for a minute. Oh, I was picking on Larry. Because there was a lot of, like, Larry, I guess, is somebody that likes to go around and be stupid. But personally, I oh yeah, what's that? Huh? Okay. Did YouTube hide that? Maybe did you say something and then you could have? It might have. I don't know how I can show your. If you typed something there, I'm not sure. Because I'm using Restream, so the YouTube AI might have held a message, and like if I was on the YouTube app, I would be able to like see what it is. I should be. Oh, okay. Maybe it just took a second for me to see it pop up on my end. Those things weren't showing up to me in my chat. What I was seeing. Hey guys, I appreciate you being here. There's like 10 people watching, dude. Like, I wouldn't have thought that there'd be that many people watching this morning already, but there are sometimes people that got free time. Yeah, they finally popped up when it first came on. They weren't showing up. It just took a second. But you know what, Dennis? I liked. There was a stream you were on a while, but was it the? Is this past week you were in the stream, but you didn't say a whole lot. And when you did speak, you had good things that you said. I thought. I'm trying to remember what it was we were talking about, or that y'all were talking about. There was a particular person y'all were talking. Oh, you were talking about. It was a discussion about. And it might not have been on a stream. It could have been in that DM. But you brought up. People were talking about. God darn it! Hold on a minute. Here we go. The discussion was about Vito and some of his pedophile jokes I shouldn't have said that word. God darn it. I shouldn't have said that word because I think that word sometimes if you say it, don't it? It's not like I'm monetized or anything. I just don't want. I don't want to have any interference if I don't have to. But you made a point that let's see. Let me hold on a minute. We'll come back to my beautiful face there. Yeah, self-destruction stream. Yes, that's what it is. So yeah, that's our self-destruct stream. That's what it was. Yeah, the PDFs. I was saying, or you were saying something like you've learned that you can't like. It seemed like you were saying maybe people were taking him a little too serious. That maybe you know what I mean? I don't know. All I know is I'm blocked by Vito and Dick Masters. They used to follow me, or I think they followed me back. But I mean, I'm not knowing nobody big, but this past year or like a few months ago, I got to where like in Dick Masterson's post, I kept posting like pirate pirate gifts in his post and then like post I would post GIFs or gifts of what's that senator in the United States, that dude that's got the eye patch. I kept tagging Dick Master, so I'm thinking maybe that's why he blocked me, or I happen to follow someone that they blocked and it's like a blockchain. Right. You know what I mean? Like I didn't look like at first when I noticed that they had me blocked, I was like, I can still see their stuff. I was like, well, I don't know if I followed Vito, but I was following Dick, and it's like, but both of them had me, and it probably when I got to thinking about it, it's like it if it's an actual reason that I think it would have to be because Dick Masterson just got tired of me posting all them fucking things in his comments. I mean, I have some people blocked, but it's usually the ones I've blocked are like the fucking where I followed them. They follow, and then as soon as I follow them back, they're in my DMs, and that's usually like a sign. You know what I mean? It's like they're either a bot or they're trying to fucking get something out of me. That's different, though. That's different, especially like if you've not actually done anything to somebody and like been really fucking offensive and insulting in their feed, then yeah, that is kind of gay, ain't it? I'm thinking that more than likely, well, no, I'd say it probably did after like a couple of days worth of me just like posting a bunch of pirate stuff and saying funny stuff, and then Dan Crenshaw, I kept tagging and putting his name, so there could be the possibility, or like I said, I'm in a blockchain because that happened a while back. I was like blocked by Ethan Van Sciver, man. I've followed him for like 6 or more years. And then Past Master Dan, it's like, man, I'll see what I can do. Because I was like, what the fuck did I do? Like every once in a while, like I was posting things and poking fun at Ethan, but it wasn't nothing bad. Like I was posting some gay stuff and being like, this is Ethan Van Sciver, but anyway, it wasn't long, and I was because Dan chimed in and said, you're probably on a blockchain. Let me see. I gotta hold on a minute. I didn't actually read it before I put it up there. Some folks cannot deal with opposite positions and are unable to debate, so they just block. Yeah, like I can understand if someone's personally coming at someone in a vicious manner. That's a lot different, especially that personal shit. You know what I mean? Like, I see some pretty heinous, dumb stuff sometimes. People going at people. Like if you keep it on the fun level, even if like you can not like each other and still joke back and forth and give each other the bunch of hell. That's good. You know, that's like a good. Like even enemies can be cordial, can't they? They but oh well. I'm currently, just thinking because you are a comic book guy and you're interacting with me. I don't know who else is watching. Pretty cool that we have some eyeballs on it. And if whatever I'm talking about and Dennis and I are bantering back or talking back and forth, but that's what Dennis said last. What I was going to say, I don't know if you've seen my post, but I'm currently rereading Gorillas, which is a really, like when I started collecting again back a few years ago, Dennis, this is volume 3. Like I've got all of them. But when I started collecting again, I was on Instagram, but my accounts got hacked last year. And, well, what I was saying is, so of course I was following anybody that I follow on X in the comic community over there, but I found that guy, Brom Rebel, and was following him on Instagram. That's where he mainly does his posting. But he kept posting about his first ever graphic novel that he did. Like he's evidently worked for a lot of the big companies like Marvel and DC and all that other stuff, kind of like Ethan and them at some point. So what I was saying is I came in finding out about him and not knowing anything about him because I hadn't collected in years. But it interested me, like his artwork and stuff. This is black and white, by the way. It's like, but it's just, I mean, I don't know. I'm on a phone. And I've tried to see if he's put out another one on his own, but apparently this came out. I don't remember when it originally came out, but it was a while ago. So these are it first came out, I think, in smaller formats, and then it became a collected edition, type thing. And then when I found out about it, and because I would communicate with him every once in a while, and he was a pretty cool guy. He's kind of like, he don't do a lot of, it seems like he's pretty secretive about like his real life and stuff. So that's cool. I'm just sharing with you. So the other day I just started on volume 3. I read these when I first got them, and about a month ago, I started pulling a lot of my comics out and going, man, because a lot of times what I do have a lot of stuff, and even back in the day when I was collecting all the time, like when I had like thousands of dollars worth of comic books when I was like in high school, right out of high school, I didn't hardly ever go back and read any of them. Like I would read them for the first time. You might read them once or twice, then you put them up. You put them in a box or whatever. Or you put them up however you do. Not everybody's like so particular, but so there were a lot of times I was just making a huge collection. I'm just collecting. I'd read them, collect them. You're just reading it, putting it up, reading it, putting it up, and not even. So because I'm not like that now, I'm not just buying whatever. Well, actually, I can't afford to, like, and I've got to be more. I just have to be pickier, if that makes any sense. I have to be pickier. So I've had fun over the past years discovering about things that have been put out since years ago when I was heavily into collecting, and some of the stuff I've had is just old stuff that I found on eBay that I used to have and was a fan of. So, and then I have some stuff a few things that I've actually bought from, I had a copy of Cyberfrog, warts and all. I had gotten a first issue of the when he restarted it this past year, and it was just he had went on sale, the Ghost Edition. But I ended up doing it after I did a giveaway, uh, which only 2 people entered. But so I gave those books away because I'd read them and I enjoyed them. But you know, you have to be, man. You have to be picky because, especially if you're buying from independent creators on crowd funds. But I enjoy like being able to just because I haven't collected in so long. Like if I hear somebody talk about something interesting, like say that came out in the past 20 years, I'll go and look into it. And the beauty of it is a lot of times I can find this stuff on eBay relatively cheap. It's not like they're talking about things that have blown up so bad that, because I'm not I don't collect for this stuff to be like, obviously I don't collect for the monetary value of it because right now most of my comics aren't in bags and they don't have boards. I don't even have a comic book box. I need to get one. And I'm probably going to make enemies in the comic book world by saying that shit. I will show you something though that I have. I am proud to say I do have. Give me a second. Well, I just had it the other day. Dennis, just give me a second. I'll be right there. Well, crap. I don't know what happened to it. Is it here? Oh, I've got different things, different places. I was trying to find I might have pulled it out the other day when I seen it. I was trying to find the Mike Baron Private American I know he just had it. It's all being released on the floppy form into comic book stores. But I do have that. I have the actual, graphic novel. I just came across it again the other day. Like I was like going through I have some comics over here, and then I have comics in a drawer over here. And like, I swear the other day, man, I'm not trying to ignore you. Maybe that's where. Anyway. I'll tell you, I'm coming back. We'll forget about that. You know who Mike Baron is, and you know Private American, I imagine. Right, like you find like stuff that you know is worth a lot, but you find a good deal on it. Yeah. Like if I was into it for collecting and it keeping its value, not to resell, but like as a collector, because for me, I just have fun. I have fun rekindling a love that I always had, comic books. I got back into toy collecting a few years ago, and I just got real heavy into that. And then I kind of quit last year because I was spending a lot. Like I was trying to keep up with. Like when it comes to action figures, I couldn't stop. Like I just wanted everything. Yeah, I just can't find it right now. Like I think what I did is when I came across it the other day, it's probably sitting over there. I think I pulled it out intentionally so that I could do like a video. Like I think my intention is to like since I got it, I haven't read it but one time. So I'm going to reread it. And then now I think, do like a little overview on it, not a review because I like it, but I'm just like, I'm not someone that's going to like, I don't know how old you are, but have you ever heard of Timothy Truman? He was the creator of Scout. And I'm a little agitated about this son of, well, I'm not going to call him that. He's an artist and a writer. And I think he's pretty damn good. I was a huge fan of him in the 80s. In junior high school, when I found Scout, I'm telling you, he's a creator. Have you ever heard of a character called Grim Jack? He did, I don't know if he wrote it, but he did he co-created it. I know for sure. I think I've got one of the, but yeah, everything can turn into a vice. So what I was meaning is, with comics, I'm still really heavily into it, and because I'm not spending a lot of money on toys, because I hadn't bought a new toy or anything since last year, and I'm just trying to focus on my own personal growth. So when it comes to comics, I'm trying to find what is affordable, and then when it comes to backing anybody, okay, well, Scout was like just a phenomenal story, man. Like there was a first run of it in the 80s where it was just Scout, and then it ended, and then he came back and did Scout War Shaman. It's a few years later. These came out on Eclipse Comics. I was always more I was big into Marvel and DC in high school, but I was big into certain titles like X-Men and a few other things. And then like, I went through that whole, when Spider-Man, like when McFarlane did Spider-Man and changed it and all that kind of bullshit. But my heart, like I would go to this flea market on the weekends, dude, and I would find all these like cool comics that I never heard of the companies, but it was like fantasy and sci-fi and just like, and it was more adult oriented. You're talking about like I'm a teenager, and at this point, I'm like finding like, and so that's where I discovered Scout at first, was in a box at a flea market. And then I just got like as many of them as I could. The reason I'm aggravated with Timothy Truman is I can't find out any information on. I'm thinking he screwed a bunch of people in the past few years. I don't know. I'm trying to remember. I know what you're talking about, Airboy, because I remember it. Another company I really dug was do you remember First? It was like First Comics. They did Mars, like Mars, and then it was like Mars World War One, Mars World War Two, Mars World War Three, and those are pretty expensive. Like I wanted to try to collect the Mars comics by First. When I'm looking at eBay, man, those have retained their value pretty well. I guess there was they've got a cult following evidently. Like even like, I'm not even talking about mint condition or anything, like just basic, just still readable and looks good. Hey Milo, what's up? We're having Milo, we're talking about comic books today a little bit. This my buddy, or so I'm gonna call you a buddy if that's all right, Dennis, because we just recently have become acquainted through other mutual people we follow on Twitter, X, and on YouTube. And actually, I think if I remember correctly, Dennis, I want to say I'd seen you on other people and stuff. Not seen you, but I'd seen that you were on other streams. I remember coming in, I think it was Johnny Scab's stream. Like, it's one of the first time or twos I ever came in and been on his show, and you were there. Like, it was Self-Destruct, you, Dr. Ben was there, I think. Dr. Ben. Okay. I was just trying to let Mila know, though, we're in a discussion about comic books right now, and I guess she would have figured that out. She's a she's good. She's a regular person that pops in sometimes, Dennis. Um, we had a pretty good stream the other day where it was a lot of just kind of joking and stuff. And then I kind of got a little emotional. I told people, well, there was a little bit of trolling going on, not necessarily like trolling, but people just making jokes in the chat. It wasn't like a serious chat. I didn't really have a topic. But then I brought up, yeah, that was the stream. I think you were quiet most of the time, and I stayed for about an hour. Like I think I stayed maybe about 45 minutes in an hour, and then I was like, I popped out, and y'all continued to stream for another hour or something. I think. I'm being long winded about this. Hold on. So the reason I brought up, let me see, let me show you the inside of, let me find, tell me that this character is not modeled after Hunter S. Thompson. Do you see that, Dennis? Do you know who Hunter S. Thompson is? I'm sure, right? See, I know it's on I'm trying to, that's one of the bad guys in there. Look at this. It's like a band, kind of like that's supposed to be kind of like Kiss and stuff. It's set in a dystopian future and everything. So anyway, this is the second time around in my collecting. Well, it would be the third time. Originally, back when I was originally collecting in school, junior high, high school, and right out, would have been when I first had most of the Scout stuff that I could find. Then there would be a few years later, and I had not collected in a long time, that I got back into it, and I revisited Scout again. I do that a lot. So this time around, I found what I could online. I don't have the whole complete thing, but I found out that he apparently I think it started in 2016 or 17. He started trying to bring Scout back, but it wouldn't be the original character because this original character died. They were going to do Scout Marauder, him and his son, co-writing it, and him did and doing they both write. And I don't know who did all the art. I think he did, but they're co-doing it. And apparently they had hey Peyton, what's up? So I got excited. I was like, but Marauder was going to be based on so many years later, and it would be Scout's son. And let me show you. I do have something. I just found it. I'm gonna have to shoot myself for keeping getting up. You know what? I probably got it over here. I think it's right here. I know I'm being long-winded, but I'm gonna tell you in just a second why I'm getting to this. I did not back this, but this was something I could go on his site and actually just buy and get right then. And it came. It's a preview of what they were working on, not colored with any words in it. Okay. And I also bought Scout Marauder sketchbook. I was waiting to see, because I was like, okay, this campaign's been up for a few years, but he's got these couple of things I can buy. Well, it turns out when you go to try to find out about anything going on with Scout Marauder and when are they going to finally release it, it's like they've scrubbed everything. I did find some people apparently talking about it on X about 3 years ago, and they were not happy about it because they had actually backed the book. And apparently Timothy Truman had a really, what is it? Hold on. Is that like a face that's kind of like making like a what I'm saying is I'm discovering that one of my all-time favorite comic book creators of one of my favorite characters in of all time when I was into comic books was trying to do something like crowdfunding and bring the character's son into it, and it was going to be cool. It was going to look. I mean, look at that cover. I thought, man, this is going to be really fucking awesome. I think he started the campaign, like I said, in 2015 or 2016, and we're in 20. Well, maybe I'm wrong. It could have been 2020, but I know it's 5 or 6 years later, and there were people that actually put money into what was going to be Scout Marauder, and there's still not a fucking copy of it out in the world. And when you try to go to find out about Timothy Truman online, like he had a website that did every once in a while update. No, if when I've looked at unless they've kept it private, it's not. It don't say that on Wikipedia. He's still alive, from what I understand. Anyway, I didn't mean to. I'm just sharing something with you that is because you do comics. I am correct, ain't I, Dennis? Aren't you an artist? You're a comic book artist, aren't you? Forgive me if I don't know and don't remember. I do follow you. I've met you. I was thinking that on Johnny's stream, you were actually maybe drawing at the time because you don't show your face and stuff, but you would chime in every once in a while. I think you said you were. Is he that pals with Dan Fraga? Oh yeah. See, I forgot about what everybody was talking about with that Dan Fraga thing when all that happened. But I've been following things since just a few years after Comicscape started. And I remember vaguely that title. What's the name of that book that everybody's still wanting or had paid for? And like nobody knows if Dan's ever going to put it out or not. Oh, okay. Well, Dennis, I don't know why. I don't know why I thought that. Well, still, it's still nice to just talk to somebody, a fellow person that's got a love for something like that. And guys, if whoever just came, like Mila and Peyton, well, I appreciate you being here. I'm not trying to ignore you guys. Y'all said hi. And I was explaining Dennis, they're regular. Like sometimes they'll pop in. They're not always able to be in long, but there's some of the younger crew that comes in and checks the channel out and supports, what I do. Well, I mean, I have no reason not to say that because I usually keep most of my, like, I don't do a lot of, I don't do a lot of cussing on streams or in my videos. Like occasionally, especially my videos, I just kind of watch myself. I do want to show, like before, I don't know how much longer I'll stay on. We've been here almost an hour. I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying being able to share anything with you guys. And, yeah, Black Flag. Oh, Black Flag it. Let's do that right there. Let's get a little fun going. I do want to share something though by a friend that I actually went to high school with. He's out in California now. Craig Sawyer. He's the writer of Forbidden Museum. I believe, yeah, it's at 2 issues. I mean, they're crowdfunded. It's a floppy, but I mean, he is an artist also, but he always has an actual other person that's become a professional artist do his comics, which makes sense. Like he is a good artist, but he went another route. Because I remember him in high school, he always drew a lot, but since he since went on to become an actor for a while out in California, and then he had perfected his writing skills. It's a Forbidden Museum. It's about a dude. Look, this is issue number 1. Um, and then that was, I think, the main cover. And then you have, let me see who this is. I'm going to try to, I'm trying to see the artist's name here, but this is a variant cover that he sent to me when I got the others. Or no, he had sent this to me. He sent me this with the first issue because this was like a variant cover that I guess is more. But you have like, I'm trying to do it justice. I might be. Yeah, I know. There was even cool trading cards. Like, so what you have is a story about a guy that inherits. Turns out he inherits an old museum. It's his family, you know, like his grandfather. I don't know, but secretly, I want to say it was his grandfather. Secretly in his family, they had been the keepers of like certain creatures and ghouls and things that people think are fictional, but they turn out to be real. They were they would hunt down these things, like they'd hurt they'd hunt down certain artifacts and certain beings that, and then they'd contain them, and they kept them in a hidden place underneath the museum. And it's pretty cool. There's this anyway. So you get the gist of it. He doesn't know that there's an underground hidden museum, which is the Forbidden Museum. So he inherits it to discover what's underneath, and that his family, his grandfather had like, because it starts off with someone bringing. I don't know if he calls himself Dracula in this because he's got different names for these, but they're basically like, you know, because like this is kind of like the creature of the Black Lagoon, but it's cool because so the guy that inherits it, he ends up finding out that what he like got to do because they're trying to bring Dracula back, and then it starts off, and I'm not gonna say too much more. You know, these are something that I kind of want to reread also, and then I've done a review on them back years ago when I got them. But he also has Mars City Vice. It's a cool concept. I like the, and see, here is issue 2. It's cool that I showed you the card. Now I don't know if this site is still even up, but you know he did have them on print on demand. You know, on some sites. In issue 2, by the end of issue 1, you do end up with the guy. I can't remember his name, but the guy that inherited the Forbidden Museum and all that. He ends up going to this area of the world wherever he realizes he has to go around trying to find these different things and contain them. There's an artifact he's trying to find that the people that are trying to bring Dracula back are trying to get to also, because they need that particular thing for it to like do something. I need to reread these so I can actually talk and really share about them. But like, look at that. That's pretty cool, I think. Now there's still Dracula there. But this is when then they take off. They end up at this other place and they deal with the what do they call that creature? It's called the Gill God. So in issue 2, you deal with the Gill God, and then this other card that he sent with me. Apparently, he has plans at some point to deal with, instead of werewolf, it'd be wolf beast. But you see, as far as I know, there's not a third issue or nothing. But he did try to launch a campaign last year to put out the third issue of his other comic book, Mars City Vice. And Mars City Vice is really cool too. It's set on Mars, and it's in a city that is kind of a tourist attraction. And when you come there, it's set up to be just like the 80s of Earth, and particularly Miami. And it is a little funny. It's got some real cool like a little bit comedic feel to it, but there's some serious undertones. You can't see real well. But he launched it. He did have a campaign last year to do a third issue, and it didn't pick up well. He explained to me he needed to retool it and re-envision how to go about the campaign. And of course, he tried to do that on Kickstarter. Now, I don't know why he particularly does Kickstarter instead of Indiegogo, but each has their own preference. Oh, Kitty Blocks. Hey, I don't recognize. Oh, okay, you're going to the bakery. Okay, I'll see you then, Dennis, if you're leaving or if you're out of here for a minute. I'm going to be on here for a little while longer. Hell, why not? Kitty Blocks. What do you say here? Hello. Oh, okay. What did it say? Hold on a second. I'm trying to keep up with the chats, y'all. Like Mike Barron's writing, a bit of comedy sometimes. Yeah. 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 You know, it's like you have, it's a serious story, but within the dialogue of the people and characters, there's certain things said and that are funny. And this is, oh, hey, Kitty, don't block me. Okay. Oh, cool. Kitty Blocks, how are you doing today? That was a pretty good joke, though, wasn't it? Like, hey, Kitty, don't block me. Let me get back on here. Let me stand up for a minute. Oh, I'll tell you what I'll do. You mentioned it's a pretty day outside. It's going to be a pretty day out here, too, I think. You guys want to go out for a little bit? It is already nice out here, too, see? I appreciate everybody being here. It's pretty cool, you know. Oh, I might as well do this, guys. Don't think that I'm doing this trying to be some. I'm just putting it up here again. No big deal. Oh. Oh, shut up. Be quiet. There's another dog wandering around. Oh, I ain't seen that stray dog. And we ain't seen her in a few days. But yeah, it's gonna be a nice day out here too. Trying to see if I can get around there to the sun. It's a lovely day. You know what? I can take that down. No way. I thought I could. No wait. Oh, you don't want to look at the side of my trailer there. That was like the worst thing to be doing, wasn't it? Okay, now back to I'm trying to yeah, it's a nice blue sky here today. Now look, we do I don't know if you can see it, but there they go spraying their stupid chemicals anyway. I don't want to get into all that. I don't talk about dumb stuff that I can't do anything about. I'm gonna step back in. I'm barefoot now. And I'm gonna leave my door open. I'm enjoying the day. I hadn't really done a lot this morning other than and what'd you say? In fact, we both are cats. Okay, let me see. You're right, Kitty. I'm trying to see what I I'm see. I was talking and I was not seeing the fact we both are cats. Oh, I see what you're talking about now. She's got a cat in her. Well, don't let me gender you, but because you know what I mean. Don't let me just assume that I don't know. I see what you're talking about now. Over to the left, Dennis has a cat in his. What do you call that? Like his avatar thing, whatever his profile, and then you have a cat. Let's see. Kitty Box, are you just I'm gonna ask a question just so if you do, are you just someone that has an account and comes on YouTube, or do you have a channel or something? Yeah, the avatar. Well, I'm asking her. I'm asking because the way it, uh, for all I know, like it could be a channel, and if someone's got a channel and they're watching me and they're in a live stream, I want like I haven't done that much. Like most of the people, most of the people that come in, if they show up and are in the chat, I know whether they have a channel or not already. So because I'm not completely familiar with and I hope I'm not offending you, Kitty. I'm just trying to get an idea of like for instance, I can't remember like for instance, if you have ever watched any of my videos and you are subscribed, then I don't remember necessarily seeing a comment or ever your name. So I don't know. And I feel stupid, but like I can't keep up with everybody. Like I don't always know. Like and sometimes I get people come into my live streams that have been subscribed to my channel and I didn't know it and they just never commented and they've never like said anything. And then one day they say something and I'm thinking they're a completely new person. They're like, no, I see you all the time. And I'm like, okay. I like to get to know people, man. You know what? I said I might deep dive, and I think that's what we kind of did. I've gotten a little bit, deep. I was sharing my comics and talking about a little bit of comic book stuff. I didn't think about that. But like I can't, like when I was talking about Timothy Truman, I just hate this because he was a well established, like known kind of veteran of the comic book world, man. Apparently, Dennis, apparently he put out some kind of expensive art book, and he got some kind of publishing deal, and it was like a hardback, like $100, like if you buy it, it's like $100 hardback, art book. And the only thing I could find, like I said, it was like some tweets from several years ago of people that actually put money into his campaign and still didn't have product. And that was several years ago. And they were posting pictures of his art book and going, apparently he has took our, like, because he was making money at doing the art book, he gave up on his campaign and not like updated anything. But but like I said, you can't even find any information. Like the website's not even there now for Scout Marauder. So the whole point of even sharing about Timothy Truman and that is that I'm really glad that I didn't, because at the time that I found out about Scout Marauder and bought the couple of things that I could physically get in hand as soon as I ordered it, he still had a campaign that you could contribute to, and it was called a pre-order. But there still wasn't like any kind of set date that it was going to be released. And I was like, man, I don't care how big a fan I am of this dude. I'm not going to back it. If it's already been up this long and it still ain't out, I'm going to wait and see when it comes out, and then I'll buy it. And it still ain't out. So I'm glad I didn't do that. I don't know. I think he was, but I'm not on Facebook, so I'm not worried. Like, I don't think he's on any social media now. Like if he's truly like screwed a bunch of people and didn't refund their money, wouldn't you think he's probably, that would make sense to me. Like the fact that I try to go to the website that I used to could go to and see that every once in a while they would update it. And like apparently he had an excuse. A big part of his excuse was that COVID hit. And then there was and then after the first initial year or two of the pandemic, I think there was okay, that's what you did with Dan's campaign. Like when you found out about it, I guess there was some things you could either get right then or something, or maybe you didn't, but you were like, it had already been going on so long that you're like, let me just wait and see. It's got to be close to coming out by now. That's what I thought. I was like, man, this campaign's been up this long. And I thought the fact that I can get a sketchbook and like a preview book without the words and not colored, I was like, okay, they're about to be putting this actually out, and then I'll buy it. But I'm just glad I didn't. The same with Eric July. I really, I followed Eric July. I thought I liked some of the way what he talked about before any of the comic stuff. I think a lot of people were that way. And I thought, well, I might support this dude because there's not a lot of stuff that I can afford to support, and I want to make sure that when I do, I make the right choice, and that I do it towards somebody that is doing a good thing. Well, I didn't jump into Eric's campaign either, is what I'm saying. Like I was supportive of him, and then that whole Riley thing started happening, and at first I was like, man, this is kind of some bullshit. And then that whole the Nick Rekieta stream, once that happened, I was like, fuck this dude. And then when so at that point I was still kind of like, okay, I might still, but then after that I was like, man, no. And then once some people started talking publicly about how crappy the first issue was, And then the fact that he couldn't, like when Dick Masterson actually made good critiques to help him improve his book, and he would not freaking just, he could have corrected course and by now be a lot further down the road. Instead, he's sinking fast. Oh, you did buy two. Okay. I don't mean to laugh. I'm saying I'm glad that I chose. I was early on, like I said, I was going to back. Well, he didn't call it backing, but it was a pre-order. Let's get real. It's still camp. He's just trying to rebrand crowdfunding. Instead of calling it crowdfunding, it's pre-order with him, okay? But the fact that there was a lot of fans that were satisfied maybe with their book, but not with the service. So there was something that wasn't right. And he was blocking fans, like actual people that bought shit from him. Like all I had to do was, like after the first issue came out and then the Riley thing, and then once Ethan Van Sciver, like Ethan didn't want to create an enemy out of him. He was just trying to say, Dick's made some good points. That's all. And maybe you should take that into consideration and try to improve on your shit. And then, like, I'm just glad I didn't. It's like I said, man, like, and I know a lot of people don't like JDA. He's never done nothing personal to me. I've got a couple of things I actually purchased from him, and then in the mix, he sent me a couple other things for free. I did like Overmind when I read it. I got it. I like Overmind. I like that woman that did the art for Overmind. When I watched Mike Partey, or whatever his name is, review of Overmind, he made some good points that I kind of didn't even. But when I'm reading, I know that when I get done with it, if it entertained me and I could follow it and I understood it, I'm just like you said, I'm not a critic, so I'm not someone trying to professionally fucking rip somebody's shit apart. But oh yeah, he blocked you, huh? Hold on a minute, I'll be right back. Okay. I thought that I'd heard some voices and stuff a minute ago, and I thought there's a young boy, my friend's neighbor, or my neighbor's grandson. I thought he might have been right out here outside the trailer listening to me talk to you guys. The other day, he was standing right there, and he was trying to wait for me to stop talking, I think, or he was trying to see if I'd noticed him, and I had to. And at some point, I finally said, "Hey, man, I see you there, but I'm like busy. I'm doing like." At first, I was a little kind of like, I felt like rude, so I got up and stepped out for a second to let him know what I was doing. I was like, "Hey, man, I'm not trying to ignore you. It's just," I was like, "I'm on my YouTube channel doing a live. Are you cool, little boy?" Like, yeah. Personally, by the time I got back on Twitter, because I wasn't on Twitter back when all of that was first going on. I didn't get back on X, or like I got on Twitter when Elon bought it. I believe everybody else was already still on there, right? If I remember correctly. Like I had not been back on Twitter. Like the only time I tried Twitter was back in 2015, and that was for another channel. I was promoting my other channel that I was doing at the time. I had a channel called Gray Cloud, the Gift Giving Scribe, and I would order skateboards every month through when I'd get my disability check every month, I'd order skateboards and stuff, and I'd go around the town and find like skateboarders that were skating and stuff, and I'd be like, hey, because like at the time I could still get on a board and ride. I couldn't do any ollies anymore, really, because of my broken knee, but I could still ride and enjoy it. But now I can't. Like, someone sent me a skateboard like the Christmas before last. I told them I didn't need it, and they didn't realize how physically. Uh, they didn't understand my physical condition was worse than they knew. Like, as far as when I try to step on it, I can get on it, but I have not been like, I only took it to the road once or twice and rode it like for a few seconds. It was so uncomfortable that I just don't know if I could really do it and enjoy it now. I don't want to hurt myself any worse than I'm already been. Uh, Speaking of that skateboard, I'm going to show that to y'all. It's got some cool artwork on it. And I forgot I'm on X. Also, I'm streaming this to X. So some of these eyeballs might be coming from X. But look, this is what my friend. Well, I say he's my friend, but he won't talk. He ain't talked to me. I thought it was some cool. So I don't know how I just went from talking about comics to, but anyway, um, I was on X in 2015, and I was supporting that channel, and I had some connections with other people on YouTube channel. And at that time, I really wasn't following much of anybody in the comic scene that were there. I was just using it, that was Twitter, but I didn't stay on real long there, and then then I lost my password to my email. I couldn't get back into my channel. Skip to years later here in Alabama, I started this channel, and this is because I never took it. I was taking the other channel because this is my third channel I've ever done, but this is the first time I've ever when I got on to doing this one, I finally at some point was like, I'm gonna take this serious and do this, and it's turned into something. I'm enjoying that it's growing. People come and watch, and people interact with me. Um, I mentioned in a stream yesterday, and I'm going to do this again real quick, just in case the guy is seeing this. There's somebody that is a YouTuber here, and we had been knowing each other for a while. He was in the toy community, but he had reached out in a comment last year because my Facebook and my Instagram got hacked, right? I didn't have everybody's personal contacts, so I couldn't just like tell everybody on their phones. Like if I didn't have your phone number and I couldn't text you and go, hey, my account's got hacked, so just letting you know. Well, apparently whoever hacked my account reached out through DMs to some people, and some of the people thought it was really me, and they sent them money and whatever. So that guy came into a comment at some point last year and mentioned $20 that supposedly he had sent. He thought he was sending it to me. And I just felt bad because there was nothing I could do about it. And I explained it in the comments. And I told him I even made a video about it. And I gave him an email to reach out to me so that I could, if he wanted to, like. And so yesterday I brought that up and mentioned it just briefly in a live stream because it occurred to me. I was like, dude might every once in a while see me live and just come into my live stream or something and be watching me. I don't know. So I thought, like, every once in a while, maybe I should just mention it. It might be, it'd be kind of cool if he was to happen to catch it and be like, I'm going to watch him for a minute. And I just happen to be talking about it, because it's somebody that I'd known for a while. We'd actually sent each other boxes of stuff, like toys and different stuff. And I'd ordered stuff from his eBay. So that wasn't too fun. Like, but I don't care to ever go back to Facebook for sure. I would go back to Instagram. I wouldn't mind going back. There's a lot of people on Instagram that I really enjoyed being friends with. Uh, Matter of fact, there's still a couple of toy creators on YouTube that I'm following, friends with, that were over there. And I don't owe them, but when I got out of my collecting last year, I started wanting to send some of my collection to people, just to send it to them, not sell it, just like. And I sent one box to my friend in Tennessee, and then I've got another box that I made up for him, and I've not ever sent it. A lot of personal stuff has happened, and then I just ended up not doing it yet. There's another guy in Colorado that I promised some things. He was doing a custom thing for me as a favor, because I was going to send him some stuff. I still have what I want to send him. I might try to get around to doing that this coming up. I say that to myself every month, but something always comes up. Like, I got to take care of certain things first, and because mailing out a big box of toys is not very cheap either. I think it cost me $25 to send that package I sent to Tennessee last year. But there was quite a bit in that box. It was like a heavy box. I think it cost me $25. It was a pretty expensive shipping, and it wasn't like. It'd be different if I was selling this stuff and someone had paid money and everything, but I was just stuck as a friend trying to send some stuff out to people, because I just I'm keeping some things, but eventually I will get around to sending some of this stuff back, or sending it to the two. I want to wrap up sending this second box to Tennessee, and I want to wrap up finally putting a box together. I was working on it, and then I got into a bunch of personal shit. And I just, you got to focus sometimes on, like I said, if someone had paid money for it, I would have definitely got it out to them. It wouldn't be like the same with when I do giveaways here. If I do a giveaway, it might sometimes take me a few weeks or a little while than I want to get it to somebody, but I always get it to them. I'm usually pretty quick about it, but there was one time, like with the Cyberfrog warts and all, and the Ghost Edition one, it took me a couple months after I chose who was going to get it to him, but he was a very patient guy, and I appreciated that. And he got them in hand. And matter of fact, a few weeks ago, I think it was in the chat, and he said he still got to read them. To be honest, I want to do something like that sometime this year. Actually, I might, after I reread Private American, be honest with you, after I reread that, I might do a good overview video. I don't know if I'll do it. I should do it on my second channel, but it's such a smaller channel. Actually, that would be not a bad idea, though. Do it on the second channel, and then maybe do a giveaway. And I don't mind. I would like to put things in someone's hand. It ain't that much to, as long as someone's in the U.S., I'll even ship to Canada. Like if I was trying to ship overseas, golly, I imagine. Because Johnny's always talking about that too. It's like, there's some beautiful sounds going on outside right now. The birds are happy. Can y'all hear that? I love listening to the birds, man. I just love it. It reminds me of my mom was deaf in one ear, and she always had a hard time hearing. And one time she got to try out these like I guess they're like disposable. They won't be permanent, but like you could replace them every month. But it was a hearing aid. And the first morning after she went and got her test one or whatever, and she had it in, she was like, "Son, come here. I can hear the birds. She was like at the kitchen window and was like, do you hear that? And I was like, Mom, it's the birds. She's like, I can hear them. Like it was a really cool thing, you know. It was a good experience to like. I didn't realize the severity of how her hearing was. I knew she was pretty hard of hearing, but I didn't realize the severity of it until she was able to, you know, go get like a test trial of a hearing aid, and she was like in the first morning waking up and like going, what am I hearing? That's the birds. That was a really fun memory. That's a fun memory. Well, I think I'll wrap this one up, guys. I don't think you know. I appreciate whoever was watching. It's been cool. I didn't intend to be on this long. I normally don't go on that early in the morning, but we might start doing that pretty regular. You know, like if I'm just like bored or whatever. I think I'm gonna. I don't think I drew anything yesterday or practice, so today I'm gonna make a point to sit and maybe sketch something out or practice something, and then do some reading and stuff. I appreciate you being here, Dennis. I appreciate it a lot. And y'all have a wonderful day. I'll probably do another live this afternoon, maybe. We'll see what the day brings. But until next time, Mr. Gray Cloud, Sage of the Eternal Moment, over and out. And the way I say I love you here is ditto.